Okay, we're just going to do this one again because I didn't feel like editing the other one. So I've got both games loaded. So let's start, move this out of the way. Let's start with this game where you are black, though I believe you're black in both games. So this is the first one with Dadu. And so we know that this is a bad move, right? I don't need to go into it too much, so you go take the corner and it's good. He plays this move. Often we'll respond high. It is probably like a half-point difference. There's nothing wrong with this. Then he plays this crazy move, right? This is just silliness. Because if he wanted the corner, he should take the corner. You know that. Here, though, I think he dies. If we just play here, whoops. Let me get this out of the way. If we just play here, I don't know what he really has, right? He can turn, and then he connects, and then we do this. And I think, like, this is all he has, but, like, this is just devastating for black, right? Like, you get to jump out, you just get to, like, you just got complete control of the board, and you just got 7 points out of this. So, so I think that's the response here. This just makes it a little not great. Whoops. So here, we typically just want to double Hane, right? That's I'm going to get into this a few times in today's lessons, I guess. The whole point of the Hane at the head of 3 here, right? Like, the whole point of this is that you can do this double Hane. And so, right, if he does this and takes, you take, and then you get this, right? So the 3 stones die. So he can't really let this happen because this, like, yeah, he gets the Panuki, but this is not like the other Joseki, because we get pushed out in an entire line, maybe even 2, but I think just 1. So we get an entire another row of points, and so this is bad for white. So anyway, so just be aware that the whole reason that this is a big move, this Hane at the head of 3, which basically you create when you block here, is that when they Hane, you can double Hane. This gives him an out, right? White should probably fix the shape right now with this. He connects, which is fine. And then you go attack that stone. I like that idea. He does some bad shape. You go cap on tap, cap on top. And then do this, which I'm fine with. Guess we're going to cough a lot in this video too. And you connect, that's fine. All this is fine. I would probably push one more time, right? Because we don't want to get Hane at the head of 3. And then do this, and then approach. This approach is a little tougher. It's not Sente when you play it this far away. Not that E3 would be Sente in this situation, but this especially isn't. And so he gets his Hane, which is fine. And then this is probably like the first like bad move of the game, I'd say. You know, the others are kind of just like missteps. But this I don't like. His group is already really strong, right? So it's not like you're ever going to pressure this. And when you look at the rest of the board, right, you've got a big bottom and a big side. The top really isn't going to be anybody's. So we'd be looking at moves like this, right, to really play on what this whole board looks like. This is just it's too small of a move, even if it is pressuring the stone, which it unfortunately doesn't, right? Because white has a very natural response to this, and you know, so what did black get out of this? Really not too much. So you stand up, and if he Hane's the correct side, it's just really big for him. And like what's black getting out of this? Eventually you're going to come back, which is fine, right? But we could have just done that here, right? We don't need to exchange this junk over here. So when we get to here, we've made these bad exchanges, and if he Hane's on top, like, you know, I don't know what we really get out of this. Right now, there's just everything secured here, and again, you can come back, but then we made these trades that just weren't so good. So I really don't like D3. That was like the first big one. So here, you know, talking about rules and whatnot, not capturing stones and second line moves. This is a bigger move. He has to respond to that. This is like the main point I want to get to on this video. So I want you to stop looking at these moves as Sente, because they're not Sente. You know, looking at this board, if I asked you as white, you know, this stone right here, Actually, let me get my, is my pen tool still up? It is still up. All right. So let's do this. So if I asked you, is this stone important as white? You'd go, no, it's not important. You can let that go, right? So then if we back that up, what are you attacking with this move? Right? It's good shape, right? This J shape's good. But I think you see this as Sente on this stone. But then if I asked you the next step, hey, is this stone worth saving? You go, no, it is not. Right? And so you have to, I think, I'm not sure you've made the connection yet, and I actually hope you haven't, because then this will be actually a really good thing for you. When you are threatening going after stones, you first have to ask, are those stones worth capturing or worth saving? Right? And if the answer is no, then they're not worth attacking. Right? It's not worth spending this move to get this. This isn't the best example because this is really good shape for black. But here's the really good example. This is what I really want to get into. If you were white this game and you had made this move, it's very possible. I could see this happening. You play that and then you go, oh, Gabe told me not to do this. This is a terrible move. I can't believe I just did that. And then black goes here, right? And you go, oh, well, phew, those stones weren't worth saving anyway, so I'm going to go play the big move, right? Your opponent can do that too. So the reason I'm bringing this up is the reason we don't want to play this is your opponent might just have a misstep and play this out of instinct and then go, oh, wait, that was a bad move. Like, I shouldn't be doing that. It's too small, and those stones aren't even worth it. And then you play that, and then they're like, oh, okay, cool, but I get to, I get to do my things anyway, right? So it's like, then he gets the big move, and if you capture, right, like, he gets 2 Sentes, right? He gets to Tanuki twice. And so I'm not sure you've made the connection that if stones aren't worth saving, they also aren't worth attacking, which is why this move is bad. White, he might just realize, like, yeah, white's most likely going to save these. If he played D1, he is most likely going to save it, because why else would he play D1? But it's also very possible that he, too, is learning when stones are valuable and just play this and then, oh, wait a second, I messed up. Yeah, those stones are I can totally get rid of them. And then he starts getting the free moves. So we should not be following these just because your opponent's making the bad moves. Don't do them. Go play something like this. This move is crazy scary for white. I don't know what I do as white here. Like, this is bad. This is bad. Because I don't know if white lives here. I really don't. So it's, yeah, very, very, very scary move, this Hane here. And if he doesn't live, right, it's like, then we just come in. It's everything about it is scary. So anyway, so you play this, and he comes back, and then you play away, which is fine. But now this group, it's weak and it's not happy, right? And so once he plays this Hane, like, this group is it's just nothing now. Like, it hurts so much. And you play away, which I agree with. And then he plays this. And this is a dangerous move that we really need to be careful about, because we've got this group over here, right? We've got this group that isn't alive yet. And you can, like, at any point in time, you can play this to get 1 eye, but this isn't 2. This is only 1 eye, right? There's nothing black can do to make this 2 eyes. It's only 1. So we got to be real mindful of what this stone is doing, because it's threatening to surround your stones, right? And that's not where you played. You played here. You played away, right? Once white plays a move like this, I question black might live here, but it's going to be really painful, right? And if the fight comes this way, then this group might die, because this group also is not alive. So we got to be really mindful of that. And so then we play here, and I know I already pointed this out to you yesterday, I believe. But yeah, like, these 2 stones are not doing anything anymore. They just aren't. Like, you really need to let them go, because this shape right here, right, is just, it's bad, right? This is not healthy shape. So here, instead, if you go like this, and then he captures, like, this isn't great, but at least it's good shape. Like, but you can see like, how much trouble this move really got you into, right? It's not you can kind of see how your shape is falling apart because of all, like, the forced moves and then the missed stuff there, right? So then we get to this point where we now, or even have this, like, this is like, white now has like a 12-point corner here attached to his side, and what's black really got? Really nothing. So this whole exchange was not the best, and so yep. So that's all fine. And then, so interestingly enough, I went over this in the other time I reviewed this. So this is, again, situation, Hane at the head of 3. Normally, we can double Hane here. Because, again, the reason is, you know, if white does this or whatever, you've got this, right? And white's shape falls apart. Unfortunately here, because the shape we left behind here is so bad, if we do this, I think black just dies with this. Because white doesn't actually care about this cutting stone. He just wanted the cut. But that's an artifact of this bad shape that we left behind. So there, I do think you need to extend. Yep, and we extend, and then he plays this pass move, right? This is just, he's protecting nothing. There's nothing there to protect, and he's just like, nope, your turn. You go make a move. And you make this nice big move. And this sequence here is all great. The timing on your moves. Basically, starting here, this, and then I think like the next 4 moves, not only are all the moves in the right spot, they're all done in the correct order. Get the shape when you need it. This was a very good sequence for black. And the push, yeah, and then the turn here, and then the push, like every single one of these moves, these 5 moves, were all perfect shape and done in the correct order. So this was a really fantastic sequence for black. And then we really get to the meat of this review. So, I know these moves frustrate you. You have to fight these moves. Must. You cannot just go, okay, fine, I don't feel like fighting this. Because that is, you know, to go all cliche, like it's almost an insult to the game type thing, which is not the stance that I take, obviously. But like, if you aren't willing to fight this, then I don't know. If you're not willing to fight this, then maybe you shouldn't, like, this shouldn't have been the game to play type thing. Because you have to embrace this kind of fight where your opponent is just completely, you know, weak here in your strength, right? And this is an obvious overplay. You have to fight against this. I would rather see these stones die while fighting this invasion than passively backing off. This is just saying the game is over. I don't like this is saying the game is over one way or the other. Either this is you saying I am so far ahead that I'm just declaring victory right now, or you know, I'm unwilling to fight anything. And the problem here, especially with aggressive players like this, is this just gives him the green light to do anything and everything to you, because he knows you're not going to fight back. And so he's just going to bully you around the entire board, and he just knows that he's going to get away with everything because you weren't, like, if you're not willing to fight this, what are you willing to fight? The other big thing to look at here is how many points do we have here, right? What are we even protecting, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, like 13 points here that we're protecting. That's really not a lot of points, right? At the end of the day, it isn't. And so even if we fail this kill, which I can't see us failing this kill, but even if we do fail this kill, as long as our group doesn't die, we're gonna make up more than that on this side, right? Like, so let's say I don't even know what white could do to make life something like this, maybe, right? But I'm sure that this is all like, you know, like this is all Sente, I'm sure, right? And, you know, or I don't know, maybe instead of this, we do this, and then he comes back, and once we make this, he has to do this, right? Like, I don't know what would actually happen here, but let's say there's some sequence where white actually lives. You know that we're going to be getting this stone. And you know we're going to be getting this wall, right? And at this point in time, so yeah, we gave up 13 points. We still have 4 of them, and he's going to get his 3 points or whatever. But like, look at what's happening here. Look how many points it's going to turn into, because we get Sente here, right? So, you know, at the end of this, it's like we get to play something like this and go, okay, white, what's your plan now? Like, look at the right side of the board. So, like, even if he does live here, it doesn't matter. It does not matter if he lives here. Like, that's the whole point of this. Like, whatever, like, go get your small life. I'm going to take every single point outside of it. But when you play this, it gives everything up, right? Now, white's in the driver's seat. He's out. and fine, right? And now he's going to be able to reduce you pretty well. This turn's big, but you've lost so much more. And now he can probably just press down here. He can probably play this right now, right? And just do this variation. And like this looks great for white. And all of this hinged on this move. And I know this move's wrong. And I know, but this is just like this is big Adam fear, right? Like this, that this can't be the move, and you can't play these moves. Again, I would rather see you lose this fight and die than play a move like this, because this is just throwing in the towel. This is just that's what this is. This is just throwing in the towel and going, I don't feel like playing this right now. Anyway, so he does jump in, right? And these peeps, I hate these peeps, and 2 of them show up in this game. So the question is, what does this move get black versus what does it get white? Okay, if this doesn't get you anything, this is a move that white is more than happy to play. The reason is this cuts his stones, right? If he Ataris, then connects, he's cut. Or connects, there's a cut. Now this cut isn't good right now, obviously. Like this is the opposite of what we want. But it's there for later in the game, maybe. It's Aji, right? So you are cashing in on that Aji right now to get this stone. So what is this stone doing for you? And the answer is nothing. The stone isn't doing anything for you. Also, if white answers with this, where are you playing? Are you really going to cut him off? Because now you lose the whole corner, right? And so this peep, I don't even know. I don't think I answer it as white. But even doing so, it's like it's purely Aji Keshi. You do these peeps a lot. I would implore you to stop doing them unless you really have a good reason for it. So we cover. It's fine. And then here, I would expect the double Hane, right? Because we have this. Right, but this Gote, but I'd still expect the double Hane. I guess this is okay, but this move hurts. This move hurts a little bit. And it's not that this stone is important. The problem is, if we, I don't know, let's say we just play some kind of move, right? Once he plays this, it gets annoying, right? And white's all alive. You completely lost the corner. It's just, it's annoying. It's not big. And then so we do it here, but again, unfortunately, now it's gonna come at Gote. And so then he's going to get to come out with this stone again. So he comes out here. And I think this is the thing with being timid, right? Like if you play a move like this, if he plays a move like this, are you willing to go fight this, right? By playing something like this? And the answer is no. And so this is the type of thing where he's going to go, oh, he didn't fight me over there, so he's not going to fight me here, and I'm going to be able to get both these groups out alive. Instead, he gives you the option of cutting off the other group, which is nice. I think I agree with this move. It's tough, that versus this. Hopefully you put some thought into it. This is nice because it takes away an extra liberty of his. So these stones are just dead now. But this expands your territory a little more. But I'm not sure which way I'd go with it, honestly. Well, that's not true. I would go this way, but I'm also more comfortable in killing these stones. So this seems okay. And that's fine. This wasn't Sensei, but it is actually pretty big. But I don't think it's as big as this and this. Because all he has is this driving Tsuji, but he can't play here now. He has to come back, and then you get to connect. So it's you lose 6 points in there, but it's not that big of a deal, especially for the 2 moves you get outside. But this not huge. Yep. So this move, the timing on this one, I don't like. So this group's obviously alive, right? Alive and healthy, and this group's alive and healthy. We don't need to connect these 2 groups. They're already alive, they're fine. And there aren't really many points to be had in here. And if we look on this board as to where there are points to be had, obviously the top has some stuff, especially since we've got this Hane at the head of 3 just chilling there. Because again, if he Hanes, you get to double Hane, right? And so we've got that, and then we've also got this big question mark of how many points is White going to get here. And I think we can probably get this to work, but it's complicated. It's certainly complicated. It uses, if we do this, it uses this Aji and then probably presses here. It's not, this probably isn't 7K stuff, right? So if you just wanted to come out like this, that's probably fine, right? Or come here and then here, probably fine. All that is bigger than this. This is just too small. So, so then he immediately covers here, and then you jump out again. If we're expanding, I think this is probably where we want to expand, or do a this thing, right? That's probably the best way to expand your territory. If you're looking to get into his territory, probably just a shoulder hit, maybe a push and then the shoulder hit. I don't know, something like that. That's probably the best reduction we're going to get at this point in time. This kind of does neither thing good. It doesn't reduce him well, and it doesn't expand your territory well. And then there's this. This is going to be the next big topic of this review. You handled the initial part of this very well. Blocking this and driving him this way and then getting this move in Sente is amazing. Like, so good. And then you get this, which is great. Then he plays that and you block and he comes out. So here's the thing, okay? We really need to look at this. How strong is this group? It's as strong as it gets. Like, it's just a brick house. How strong is this group? Pretty damn strong now. And this, as strong as it gets. How strong is his group? It's really weak, right? There's no life in here for him. So we really need to be looking at this cut, right? He's got a knight's move. He just made a knight's move and an attachment, right? So you've already have a stone here. Even if, honestly, even if this stone wasn't there, like, I almost still play this. And this is still probably fine for black. Maybe not, right? Because white has this and then just connects. So I guess maybe it's not good. But either way, like, even without that stone, I'd be looking at this cut. But with this stone, like, this is automatic. Just, we're done. Like, this game is over now because white is not going to live here. And so, but instead, we peep, which actually, interestingly enough, white answering is bad because now he just has a heavier group because we still have this cut, right? Like, and it's all about this cut because I'm saying there's no way these stones live. So him giving us an extra stone, great. But it's still a bad exchange because it does make him stronger. The other thing is just like before, I remember I said that there's a cut available. Well, here there actually is a cut available. So, like, yeah. So even if it's just this, right? And we play here and he Ataris, oh, there's our cut. I'm like, okay, that's it. Game over. We can go home now, right? Or if instead of that, he takes this. But like, look at what that does. This cut is here, but you make this peep and it fixes that cut. So it was like, now he's locally stronger. So it's gonna be tougher to win this fight. It's still totally in black's favor. But like, what does this stone do for black? Black was already alive. He was already connected. So we made our stronger group stronger and made his very weak group much stronger. And eventually he connects up. Like, this move is huge. And him ignoring it, I think he does die. I think once you play it later. I think once you play this, he's dead. I don't think white survives this. And I've pointed out this move a few times. This move's very big. So yeah, so you play that, then this. And this is, and so now we do win. But it's worth noting, this cut is still here, right? After we go through this, and you kill this perfectly. All that's great. And then you kill this as well. Yeah, when he plays here, I would just probably block. And when he connects under, kill these stones. Because they're just dead. Especially now. Like, you've got to, like, you have this wall that's 100% alive, this wall that's 100% alive, this wall that's 100% alive. Like, there's nothing he can do. There's just literally nothing he can do here. If he tries to split, you're just like, okay, yep, that's fine. And it's like, yep, we're fine. Like, everything's fine here. So yeah, so this cut, big miss. But not the easiest cut to see, and I am hyper focused on cuts these days because I also need to work on it. So I think that was pretty much it from this game. Here, this is craziness, and you know it's craziness, and you answer it well. The issue is here. I don't like this one. I think we just play this here. Because the problem is, like, you played this, and he played this really slow, terrible move. But, like, what happens if he plays here, and then this? Can you kill that? I mean, I can. But can you? I don't know. It's tough. this isn't the easiest thing to fix, right? Or maybe even white just plays here. That might be bad. I don't know. White should die here, but it gets tricky, right? And luckily, he does this, and you just play the move, and it's fine, right? So here's the issue, though. Okay, so he's obviously like taking out liberties and whatnot. The best thing to do here is just get this group alive. Okay, if you can get this group alive, then you don't actually have to kill these stones. So that should be your goal here. You don't want this to be a liberty raise. You just want this to be black gets 2 eyes, lives, and that's that. So if you go here and threaten this cut, black does that, and boom, there are your 2 eyes. 1, 2, just done. Now you do not need to play these 6 moves, 7 moves, right? It's actually a lot of points. This was like you playing this instead of up here is almost like a 15-point loss. It's much bigger than it looks, because he does this, sure, and now you play this, which is a move you didn't have to play before, and he does this, and then you play this, which is a move you didn't have to play before, and now he captures these 2 stones, so that's like 6 more points for him. And then you play this, which you didn't need to play before, and we're still, like, not right now, but we're still gonna have to play these 3 moves. And so this was like actually a 15-point thing, which was interesting. And the rest is just endgame. There's a thing here. There's a tiny little thing, but it's fine. But yeah, the rest of this is endgame, which goes fine. You are up enough because of this big kill in the corner. But you were wondering, like, how can I lose as much as I did? It's because you buckle under the aggressive players. But the main takeaway, I guess the 2 main takeaways I actually want you to have from this one are, when you play this move, you need to, so I know if I asked you as white, are these worth saving? You'd say no. And so you need to ask the question as black here, are these 2 stones worth attacking? And if you go, well, they're not worth saving, then the answer is no. They're not worth saving, they're not worth attacking. Don't attack them, right? So I often see you Atari stones because you're like, oh, I'm going to go Atari that stone, and then your opponent saves it, and so it's like a negative reinforcement because they don't know any better. But once your opponents are going to start snooking from those. As you get stronger, your opponents are just going to go, nope, don't need to save those, because it's easier to see that they're not worth saving once they're like forced to ask it, right? So you need to ask that before you Atari stones. Are those stones even worth attacking? The other thing is I want to make sure you have a better understanding of what Hane at the head of 3 means, because especially when you've got stones on either side, you can double Hane them. And this comes up a lot, and you let your opponent off too easy when you do moves like this, because that negates the whole Hane at the head of 3. Kind of. I mean, it's still a terrible shape for white. Just be aware that the double Hane is usually there. Not always. You got to read it, but it's often there. The bigger takeaway, though, is I want you to connect the saving and giving up stones when you're going after stones, when you're Atarying stones. Because I think you very quickly go, oh, I can go Atari those 2 stones as a forced move, so I'm going to do it. But you don't actually ask if the stones are worth saving. And if they're not worth saving, they're not worth killing. If they're not worth killing, they're not worth Atarying. So that's where I'll leave it with this one. The next game, so we'll get into it. The good news is on this one, as I load up this game, which is this one here, is I looked up the guy, right? Because anytime I see the question mark, I need to know, like I went through this game and I was like, Roy seems to know what's up this game. And so I had a sense that he was stronger than the 6K leads on, which is why the question mark is there. And he happens to be online right before this video, and so I went and checked on him, and he's currently, well, actually he's probably not currently, but at that game he was a 4K question mark who was slaughtering a 3K. Like, was up by like 60 points and just won this big fight. So I think this guy is just quite a, just that little bit stronger than you. So I wouldn't be too worried about this game. I think this guy I think this is just a strong player who is on a new account and is just steamrolling his way up to 2K or whatever. I don't think he's 2K, but he's probably 3 or 4. So anyway, we are black this game as well. And so these are tricky, and I would consider it's tough. This gets a little advanced because what this does is this sets up tougher variations for when white plays this. I think it also turns on this. This is when I need to study this shape a little more, but I know that this move really changes the calculus that goes into what these two stones mean. And it feels slow to answer this, but it might be worth answering. This feels slow, right? But I think it's worth considering, right? Because the other part of it is now that you're stronger, you can go after this stone later. So white will be compelled to potentially answer, because if he does something like this and allows you to get after this stone, it gets tough. So that's my little way of saying just be aware of what this stone does. So we do that, and so, yeah, and then he attaches here. So I do not know these variations. I do know that this stone completely changes things. You play on top, and Atari, and this feels wrong. It's got to be connect here. It's got to be connect. And I don't know where white plays now. White might do this and then this, or this. I could see this, right? And yeah, this outcome doesn't look great for white, but again, we ignored this N3 stone. Either way, I think this is pretty important. Though, yeah, this doesn't look too bad though. You just be aware that you're gonna lose that stone, which is fine. This seems fine. Sure. Yep. Okay. I don't like this. This is just a play style. This is a when I play my games, I don't like doing this, right? Because white is threatening just as much as black is, right? So I just want to go reduce. Like, one move is not going to firm up this area. It's too big, right? So white playing there isn't that big of a deal. But letting white get some moves over here is gonna become problematic pretty quickly. So I would probably just want to come over here. And if you don't know this Joseki, you know a website where you can find it, right? Josekipedia will tell you what our little Joseki is. And no, this doesn't look good. I know you don't like it, but it's Joseki, right? He played a 3/3 stone. You're not getting the corner. All you're getting is influence here. That's all you can get. But that's what we want. We just want to break up his huge moyo going on. Also, I'd like to see this as a fourth line, right? You've already got a third line stone here. You've got a third line stone here. I'd like to see a fourth line stone here. And then he attaches to a weak stone. So this is what tells me that he's not like 2K or 3K. Is this move, because this is just, he's attaching to a weak stone, and that's bad. And we know why it's bad. So I like this, Hane. You gotta be real ready for this cut. Okay? You gotta be real ready for this cut. And I don't know. I don't know if we are ready for this cut. So maybe just extend one more time. Or two more times. Right? Like, what's white getting here? He's facing this, and if you're staying out ahead, neither person is getting anything much from this, but you're the one who had a weak stone here. So this is fine if this is our trade. But you did this, and then he played that, and then you played away. And this is a game-losing move, because this cut just cripples us now. Just everything falls apart once white gets this cut, because white now has a stone on this side and a stone on this side, and has as many stones as you do in the fight. The local fight, we each have 3, but white is flanking you on either side. There's no way black wins this fight. Just has no prayer. And so this is game-losing move. And so this fight, there's nothing good can come out of this. Black is going to fight just to live, while white secures this entire corner and probably some territory here while reducing this. This is no good. Then he plays this move, which tells me he does know things, though the other side's bigger. But this is a shape that I don't think you know, right? This is kind of a net and a ladder at the same time, because if he plays here, now it turns into a ladder. But I don't think this is a shape you're familiar with. So this was the first time that I was like, ooh, maybe this guy knows a little more than I think he does. Though I do think G17 is bigger, which you take, which is nice. And then he plays there, and then we do this. So I think you saw these two stones as sacrificial. You got to remember the first part of the question, which is of giving up stones is do they affect the life and death status of any nearby groups? These stones aren't alive, right? They are not alive yet, so we can't just give up these stones. We can give them up, but we need to do it while living, right? If you want to do this to kill that stone, that is a-okay. But actually, does it work? I don't even know if it works. So maybe we do have to give them up. Maybe we need to Atari from this way, and then when he plays this, do something like this, and that's an okay way to give up the stones. There's nothing wrong with that. But just abandoning them, yeah, I guess you're not abandoning them, but it hurts. You don't have life here. The difference this makes, the difference going from this direction to here makes a big difference because you've got potential eye space up here, right? And if white does something like this, you can also then just go slide in, and there's also this variation, which I know you don't know, but it ends up giving black the outside anyway. But you could just do this, and the black's alive, right? And black's alive. So that's fine. When we do it this way, though, we need to make good shape. And so we probably need to just attach here or slide in something to get us some eye space. Though that turns this on, I don't know. Just I guess I'm having trouble articulating this one, but the shape falls apart here, and I think it's because you didn't get this move. I think this move's pretty important, and if you don't get that move, then you just need to fly out. This is also a shape point coming off of these three. Typically, you'll end up sacrificing one of these two stones, but you'll get good connections. But either way, the only reason we are in this position is because of this cut. Everything's complicated now, and that's why I'm having trouble articulating it, because it's a bad position for black, and you got to be really on point in that to try to get anything out of it. So anyway, so we do this. He takes. Yep. Man, what a terrible! It's just such a bad shape. That's the downside of the 3/3 stone, is there's no good extension off of it. You don't want this because this is a real easy move for black. And it's like, now what does white do? Where did you play? You played here. Yeah, that's fine. This is better. This is better because it threatens to connect. Like there's plenty of stuff over here. We actually don't care about this because you can just connect and force him to do something over here. You can jump out. You can sacrifice this stone and then just go after his bottom. This is fine. It's a nuance. Okay, so you're cutting them. That's fine. That is fine. Yep. And then we slide in. That all seems reasonable to me. That all seems reasonable. This less reasonable. We don't need to get immediate life, right? We've got plenty of space here. This is most likely going to be an eye for us. We can play here to get an eye at any point in time. You can play here to get an eye at any point in time. And playing something like this just might get us alive. So we don't need to this. This does keep him split, though. So I suppose that there is merit in that. There's good merit in keeping them split. But here we got to cut. Got to cut. There's no reason to push this if you aren't going to cut. At least take the cut, right? Because then you get this in Sente. We at least get this in Sente because he can't allow this push. So he's going to do this. And then if we want to fight, we can fight. Which I know you don't want to do, but it's an option, right? And this is going to be a good fight because it's going towards his potential, right? And black's all alive now, so all you care about is this one group, and he has this group. And you're not going to kill it, but that's going to be a good fight for black. This is just a little too timid. It gives white this, which is an annoying move because if you play here, then one of your two stones dies, and later that's going to be annoying. He instead plays that bad shape, which is fine. And yeah, I would caution you against this. I think just a random move on the bottom is fine. These attachments, you really gotta be on point with them and know what you want to get out of them. Though I remember this. This is a good result for black in my opinion. I think this is good. So Yeah, so this is tricky, right? Because now he gets this. Oh, no, he doesn't, right? Because you get that. So you do that, and he does this. Okay, so now you have to take. That's fine. That's fine. And that's fine. So you need to look at your cuts and stuff better, because this isn't a cut, right? You're connected, and you already have two eyes right here, 1, 2. So you're already alive. This is a false eye, but you've got two eyes, and you're probably going to get another eye here. So this was connecting an already connected group, and this now lets white play a move like this, which completely isolates this stone, or this, which completely isolates this stone, and he has this wall here. So this isn't going to be good for black. Oh, that's where he played. He bumped into you. Okay, yeah, like yeah, this is bad. This is bad, right? Because yeah, you've got this weak group, so he can even do something like this to push you towards his wall. And while he's getting all these moves in Sente, he's just going to go, and you're dead down here. Which is, I suspect, maybe the opposite happened. Maybe he pressed on this and then killed those two stones. Yeah, so here he should just be going, okay, black, how are you going to live? Right, this is a perfect example. You've got two weak groups, and he goes after one and the other. And again, I want to point out, I have a feeling that your opponent was probably strong 4K. So the reason it looks like he's systematically dismantling you is because he was systematically dismantling you. And I agree with this. I agree with coming out, and then you lose all your points down here, but you really didn't have these points anyway because you were undercut on both sides. So we actually don't care about this at all. The only reason we would potentially care about this is if this threatens to cut, which it doesn't. Right? We need to look at these cuts. Because so if we come out here, this cut doesn't work, right? Because when he comes out, you can even get this forcing move, and then you connect, and you're connected, and you're fine. And if he goes here, this cut doesn't work, right? He gets that stone, and then you get this, and you're connected. I think maybe this gets a little trickier, because if he does this, you're still alive. You're still alive down here. So even though you're not cut, you're alive. I assume you connected here. I have to assume you connected here, which you did. But we need to look at if this is actually needed, because also, are these 3 stones important? Right? Not really. Like this group as a whole is important, but this is a perfect example of sacrifice the tail to let the dragon live. Right? You don't need those stones. So you also don't need this. Let white take the time to kill those stones. So you were saying, hey, I was sacrificing all my stones, but you weren't, because you then still went to save these stones. And in doing so, again, now you are sacrificing the stones because those stones are dead, right? And so we have to keep our eye on the prize here. Don't try to save everything, because then you're going to lose everything. And so, but he's giving you some opportunities, but then again, we're going to save stones, and in a really ugly way. So this shape isn't good. These stones are not worth paying the price of this shape. They just aren't. Just let them go. Let them go, and it is fine, right? If we do this and we make white do that, so be it. We still have this, right? Like we still have some trickiness here that that white isn't going to want to deal with, right? Because of this cut and cut and cut and cut. There's too much. Let those stones go. Let them go. And yeah, so now things are looking very, very bleak, right? The right side's big, for sure, but he's going to be able to reduce this because there's too much. There's too much here. And then we play this pass move, right? This is where's the cut that you're afraid of here, right? If you played this, where were you afraid of? This is one thing that Paige instilled in me. I would play a move like that, and she goes, "What did you read out that said that you needed that move? What were you afraid of?" And I'd be like, "There wasn't anything." Then she's like, "Then why did you protect it?" And this is that situation. What are we afraid of here? This cut doesn't work. for the same reason. This cut's interesting because you can Atari and then cut off these stones and threaten down here. This one's a read though. Okay, I'll give you that. This cut looks a little more scary, but I think if we just do this, it's fine. And this one's pretty easy. Again, we don't need to keep every stone. So he gets those 2 stones. Awesome. That's fantastic. So good. So good. It's not even worth Atariing this because he's just gonna let that stone go and do this. It's so much more worse to just go up here. Like look how bad this is for white by sacrificing these 2 stones, right? So, you know, I look at this and there's no way the cut works, and I know that we'll connect up. Like it's fine. But this was like a game deciding type move, right? Where we really needed to do something over here. And we played this instead because white is up on points on this board. Up on secured points, right? Because he's got this secured corner. All of this is his now. Got a little bit here. And all black has for secured points are a handful of points here, this reasonably large corner, this corner, and then whatever this turns into, which is going to be a lot. But, you know, white's just going to play this. And you're just going to throw your hands up in the air and go, well, there go all my points, right? And the price you paid for that was this. Or the price you paid for J5 is this. The reward you got for letting him do this was J5. I don't know where he played, and that's pretty bad. This is really bad for white. Really, really bad for white. Hane at the head of 3. Hane at the head of 3. Yeah, this stone can get captured, but just this is the move. This is the only move. If you don't want that, then just extend or jump, or knight's move, something. I guess this is reasonable. I just really want the Hane. I really want the Hane at the head of 3 because he gets it, and there's only one move here, and you know what it is. You know the only move here because you know this is an overplay. And I don't know what you played in the game. Let's see. This is the only move. I've read 0 variations on this, but I know this is the only chance we have to win this game is by playing this, and you did not play this. How are we going to win with you playing this? Like not even this. You didn't even do this. This, yeah. So same thing as last game. This is just letting white get everything, right? There's no way you win this game from here on out. White has way too many points, and you just lost everything here, and this isn't going to make up for it. Here, though, you killed this stone. You're still in it. Is it going to be easy to kill? No, but it's the only way you win this game. And so I guess this is where I'll leave it. So this is a completely different game. Not even Go. I come from a competitive gaming background, and one of the games that I played a lot of, and I was very, very, very good at it. It was a card game, and one of my best skills was understanding what needed to happen for me to win a game, even if I was losing, right? I'd be like, okay, how am I going to win this game? What needs to happen for me to win this game? Be like, well, I need to draw this card, and then I need to draw this card. It's like, okay, so I need to draw those 2 cards in the next 3 turns, else I don't win this game. So then I go, well, if that's how I'm winning, I'm going to play right now like that's going to happen, right? I'm going to play to my outs. If that's the only way I'm going to win this game, then I'm going to pretend that 2 of the next 3 cards that I'm going to draw are the King of Diamonds and Queen of Diamonds, or wherever it is, So in that situation, I'm playing around that. So I carry that. It's a skill that I carry over to Go. And so I don't know what happens with this cut. I'm pretty damn comfortable killing this stone, even if you aren't. Even if I was playing against a 3-dan, 4-dan, I am making this cut because the only way I'm winning this game is by killing this stone. That's the only way. And so I know that you've been burned a lot, but we need to get your fighting spirit up a little bit because you're conceding way too much. You are seeing moves like this and going, nope, I give up. You win. This is pushing the resign button. That's what this move is. We need, I'd rather see you cut and mess up and lose everything here because the game is already over. As you saw, you got to the end of the game. I don't even know if I finished it, and white was up by 38 points, right? It was a huge, huge, huge victory for white. Playing this, I don't know. Let's see. What's score estimator say? White by 17, assuming you get that, which is still, still a big win for white, but it's the only way we win. The only way we win is by killing that stone, right? If it's white up by 17, if we kill that stone, it's white up by 40 if we don't kill the stone. So we have to kill it. Have to take this cut. There's nothing white can do here. You've got too much. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh, that hurts. So we need to block this. You just need to. You can't let him split you like that. Because he still has this cut. He still has this cut to worry about. So he's going to play this to fix it, and then you can just play this. Or if you're worried about the cut, you can play this. But you can't let him just drive through you. Right? This connection is much more important than this connection. So things kind of are out of control now. I think it's even better just to block and to give up this stone. I think that's what we need to do here. If he does that, just connect and let him get that stone. That's fine. Or I guess he goes this way with it. Right. This seems fine. I mean, it's not. The game's still way over, but this is a better sacrifice than letting him just tear everything apart. Because I also think that now that he has this, this likely kills those two stones, and so it all just cascades, right? So let's. I know it's hard, right? Like I know how demoralizing it is to lose fight after fight, but we have to. You can't just back off from the obvious fights, right? What I bring this up? I brought up in the Co video, right? Where your play style can be nice and common and passive, not in a bad passive way, but nice and common passive, and just doing what you do, staying strong to avoid fights, and that's fine. And you can win lots of games that way. But sometimes your opponent is going to force you to fight, right? They're going to say, nope, we are fighting now because I'm going to play this obnoxious overplay. And if you do not call me out on this, then I win the game, and you have to call me out. And that is what this move is. And then in the other game, that is where do you play? Right here? Nope. Here? Where do you play? Oh, I'm on the variations. Here? Here? Was it this one? This one. This is an overplay. Right? And yeah, you don't want more fights in this game. But guess what? He just brought the fight to you. You cannot back away from this fight. There's no way to win this game backing away from this fight. Like, yes, I know you won, but realistically there isn't. So you have to go, okay, we're fighting because you started the fight. Like this is him just coming up and punching you in the face. Right? This is him coming up and going, "Hey buddy, you looking at me funny? You got some trouble?" There, it's like, okay, like, yeah, you can start a fight, or you can go, no, we're fine. We're cool. And you just play this, and he's like, that's what I thought. Right? And he gets what he wants. That's all he wanted. It's fine. But this is him just like, no introduction, he just walks up to you and punches you in the face. You are now in a fight. Like, that is all there is to it. And so, yeah, you need to come back. And same thing in this game. Once he plays this is him punching you in the face. The fight has already started. Regardless of if you want to fight, the fight has already started. So I guess that's the big takeaway from this one. But again, this game looks really bad because this guy was pretty strong. I wonder if he's still online. Do I still have his stuff? Oh, you're online. You're probably playing a game. Let me see if he is still on. Let's take a look at his games. Yep. Oh, so he didn't end up crushing him, but he did end up beating a 3K by 11.5 points. He hasn't lost a game yet. Okay, so he has won every single game he played. The dude is strong, so don't feel too bad that this game looks really bad because the guy's strong. The guy is a strong player. So that is where we will leave it. I hope this was helpful and not too demoralizing because that was not the intent of it. But yeah, the fighting spirit thing is definitely going to be. I know that's a tricky thing. So let's focus. Still keep our focus on saving and protecting the right stones and cuts. Really looking at cuts because they are really important. And it really is funny because you and I we really do have very similar play styles because the weaknesses you have are the same weaknesses I have. Like, they're to the different level, obviously. But I'm losing my games because I'm missing obvious cuts, right? I go back and like, why didn't I cut that? Like, oh, well, because it started this a really scary fight and I was unsure of it. And we're like, well, yeah, it does start a scary fight, but like the cut's too big to not make. You got to make that cut, right? And so, like, it's funny. Like, I know you don't see it, but when I get my games reviewed, they feel exactly like this. And it's the same exact things that are being pointed out. It's just at the 1K level as opposed to the 7K level, right? And so, I get it. I get that it's frustrating because I am also struggling with it. But these are the things that I think you should work on. So anyway, yeah, obviously keep on looking at stones and considering it. But doing the second part of before you Atari a stone, give the thought of, does my opponent even need to save that stone? I want to show you. I want to show you something because this is really important because this is how I lost my game today. Let me go to the last game I played. Because I'll show you where I lost this game. And it's really late. It's really late in the game. And let me switch over to OGS view and see if the board's lined up. The board is not lined up. Let's line up the board. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. Okay, so let's show you where I lost this game because you want to know how I lost this game. I saved a stone I shouldn't have saved. I do it too, man. So anyway, let me take a look. Let me show you. It was after he played this. We're not in review. Oh, I don't know how OGS works. I want the stone. Okay, so he played here, this was a very big mistake in my opinion. Once AI was like, yo, this is a terrible move. And he played this. And the reason is E2 is turned on now. It's really dangerous. And so, but he played here and I was like, and I gave this no thought. Like if you look at AI, it just went from, I guess not here, but like the AI flips from black winning by 6 to white winning by 6 after this move. But the problem is I saved the stone. And it doesn't matter. If I play away, whatever, let's just say I play here. And he takes, like, we're still connected. We're still fine. There's nothing wrong here. And let's see what happens if I ignored that. Let's see what happens if I instead played here. And I know you don't know this move, but I do. And he plays here. Then we do this, and he does this. And we do this, and he captures. And we can even Tanuki from this now. Or we can connect. Or I can connect. Now I can go save the stone. And all of a sudden, I just got like 4 more points. And he just lost like 4 points. And yeah, this is here. But whatever. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And so this is what happened. So yeah, it was really frustrating. This was really slick on his part because this move right here is really tricky. It's a really tricky move. And his answer to it was to make his center stronger because what I'm looking at here is cuts, right? I'm looking at cuts and I'm looking at the fact that that these 2 stones are not yet connected to this stone, which is not yet connected to this stone. So if he lets me, and this stone's not yet connected to this stone. So if he lets me get this cut here, all of a sudden this all falls apart. But he saw that too. And so he played this is the mistake, and then played this, and then played this, and then played this, and now all of a sudden like there's enough connections in here that he's fine. And then what did he do? He came back and fixed this. But if I had just recognized that I didn't need to save this stone, I didn't give it any thought. If I'd recognized that I didn't need to save that stone, instead I play here, I think I win this game. It's maybe not because we go through this, right? And if I do this and I let him take and get this, now this turns into a really big move and he gets a lot of points here. But if I take my reductions and then play this and he gets this, whatever. It was his corner anyway. But I still reduced him by like 6 points. And I only lost this game by 7.5 points. So just you're not the only one that has these issues. So I wanted to show that as well. So yeah, so that is where we'll leave it for now. Let me know if you had any questions or anything I went over, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your, I guess, evening at this point in time, because by the time this actually gets to you, it'll probably be Sunday evening, maybe even Monday morning. So yeah, I will see you next time.